now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips@CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Right. Kicked off for Christmas season.
Oh, look. Merry Christmas. All right. It is 7:29 and time to get our headline.
News. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Just lovely. How are you?
Just our camera
Wonderful.
here so you can see
I
Aaron.
know. I keep having to
There you go.
adjust my camera as well.
Oh yeah, I think I moved that yesterday.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I like your graphics. Very cool.
There
Yes,
you go.
thank you so much.
So what are our headlines this
Every
morning?
day, a little bit of an improvement.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about 2022. Can I just tell you?
I'm done being excited about years. I was so excited about 2021. What a letdown.
We're
Yeah.
I saw a meme where we were talking about it yesterday, I think, where it's like 2022 is actually 2020 TOO. 2022
It doesn't sound like it's
also.
going
Yeah.
anywhere, but yeah.
What's happening today? Newsworthy.
Well, big news.
Big news. What you got?
That cruise ship is not coming again.
Yep, we saw that. So, and do you know why? Because we don't want them to bring.
Yeah, is it us or is it them?
Yeah, is it?
It's not me. It's you.
Is it us? Is it you?
It's a little bit of combination. So this story broke during our Premier Access segment last night with the
Premier.
Yeah.
I didn't see that you had
For some reason in my head, Prime Minister was in my head. That's why I was like, pause and get it right. Premier.
Boris Johnson was not here. Yeah.
So essentially he said that the risk didn't, outweigh the benefits anymore. And I later got some additional details, and there were certain things that we were requesting additionally of the cruise line, and they're like, oh, you guys are just ridiculous now. So they were not able or not willing to meet those additional requirements. And I don't know exactly what they were. But yes.
So where do you go now?
Anybody that gets off the cruise ship has to be hosed down. That was part of the protocol. With sanitizer.
Yeah, and drink a shot of bleach. Don't do that. Don't drink bleach, people.
No.
People are drinking bleach. You know that, right?
No, that'll kill you.
Don't do that. But yeah, no, that makes sense. And then the other thing that came about is you can't like go to you go to a brunch for Christmas Day. You can't buy booze.
You can't buy booze on Christmas Day?
I don't know. Every year they confuse people, I think, with that announcement. So hotels and restaurants are not included in that ban.
Okay, but here's what it says in the press release yesterday from the government.
Which might be, this is why
the
it's
Liquor
confusing.
Licensing Board advises liquor license holders in the category of retail bar, retail nightclub, restaurant, package, distributor, and retail mobile to adhere to the restriction on their license, which prohibits the sale of intoxicating liquor on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I don't know why this is a point of confusion every day, because honestly,
I
think right now, if you own a business, you probably know when you can serve liquor, alcohol, but
So is it restaurant or not?
Restaurants are good. Someone said that that's the old version, that they've reset clarification.
Well, Crystal Hines needs to get with the program then. She's the public communications specialist that sent out that press release yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, every year it's the same thing. It's a little bit of confusion. I don't know why it is, to be honest.
Because they just, we sent this press release last year. Let's just resend it. They just keep sending the same one from like 10 years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it says. That's so.
Well, because you just don't want to deter people from spending money, at our local
like a Christmas
businesses.
Brunch or something.
Some of these people are working on Christmas Day to make money, to pay for their rent and for their Christmas presents. And now people are going to say, oh, well, now we're not going to go out if we can't, have a glass of champagne with our Christmas. Anyway, that's my rant.
So yes, they did at 5:10 corrected it, and they said that basically the chair of the Liquor Licensing Board called DCI. I thought they were all kind of one now, but I guess.
Oh, I didn't get the correction. There was a second one?
I just drink my coffee.
Yeah, you would have seen it in WhatsApp. You probably just skimmed over it. But it removed restaurants. So it just says retail bar, retail nightclub, package distributor, and retail mobile to adhere to the restrictions on their license. So this is what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure that their license tells them exactly when they can operate. So they would know, but I guess the general public needs to have a sense of, but yeah, you can go to a restaurant. It's always been the case that you can go to a restaurant for Christmas brunch and have a glass.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. I've been at Christmas brunch before. No, but that's what I thought is like they need to, not put that out as a press release, because then the public's not going to know what's on the liquor licenses.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's all. And
nothing has changed. There have been no changes to it from previous times, essentially.
Okay.
But every year they remind people, and I swear every year there's some level of confusion about it. So, what I suggest is they just save this press release for next year and just send out the exact same thing where there is no confusion.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yes. Throw that one away. Don't use that one again.
So
anything else happening?
Additionally, we've had 2 more recorded deaths on Tuesday
That's
from
sad.
COVID.
From COVID or with COVID?
Well, COVID related.
Okay. I mean, it still doesn't it doesn't really matter in the
No.
scheme of things. It's sad to lose a family
Certainly
member,
right
a
at
friend,
Christmas.
but yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah, it's
No,
never.
hey, what's ever going to happen? Did something ever happen to that person that didn't secure the load that fell over? Did you see that at by Hurley's on the roundabout? This whole excavator fell off a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Is anything going to ever happen to that person? I'm getting really irritated with dump trucks that just drive
they lifted it up, and we haven't heard of any injuries. I mean, just that.
Luckily, that could have crushed the car. That could have crushed someone.
Clearly,
walking.
they were taking the turn too fast.
Obviously, they always do. I've seen those. I had to move out of the way. A dump truck tried to push me off the roundabout, and I had to go, which you're not supposed to do at Hurley's, go inside the cones to keep going straight, which everyone does for some reason. But I had to do that so that I could get away from this big truck hauling heavy machinery, because he thought he should take 2 lanes up instead of the one
they
and go
drive,
slow.
And it's not everyone, but
it's majority.
The majority of dump trucks drive way too fast. And a Hurley's roundabout is it's not the first time that that something has happened with heavy equipment. There was a dump truck that turned over earlier this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big construction zone at the moment. So in addition to that, a lot of traffic obviously has to go through that every day to get to the Eastern District. So I think people just need to slow down just a smidgen.
I think they get paid by the load. So I understand, they're wanting to get to and from their location quicker.
But that's the problem. That's the incentive for them to go faster and put everyone at danger.
All right. Exactly.
Danger.
So maybe that's something that should be looked at. But obviously, these guys are licensed commercial drivers. They're the professionals that need to be out there, protecting the public from things like this.
Anyway, it's just you never hear of anyone getting in trouble ever for that. And next time it could be my family or one of my kids crushed by that. I think about that.
Seriously, Aaron, when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, thank God a pedestrian wasn't standing there or another car.
That's where the bus usually drops people.
Bus will stop there, which bus shouldn't stop there either.
Oh, right.
There is a bus stop just a little bit up the way too. I mean, don't get me started on the buses that just stop in the middle of the road. But I mean, they just go too fast. I've had a dump truck almost hit me before because they just decided, oh, I'm in a bigger car. You're not going to win this battle.
There are a lot of dump trucks on this island. When we were at the Kimpton last weekend, I was counting on the horizon the number of cranes.
Oh, it's amazing.
That are up. And I counted 8 just from my vantage point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go to the boat and you can count.
Lots of construction.
It just seems like the island is being rebuilt. From a distance, seeing all those cranes, it's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, I just feel like there needs to be more regulation on that. Maybe put in, I don't know, can't you put something that makes them not be able to go fast?
Like a governor?
Governor, that's what I was looking. Yeah. I don't know.
They put
maybe breathalyzers too.
Well, yeah, there needs to be stiffer penalties for those professional vehicles or heavy equipment that drives too fast.
And it doesn't need to happen after it kills someone and after they,
if you look at some of those trucks too, it's like looking at some of those tires.
They're wobbly.
Who's passing these things?
Some of them don't even have headlights on in the morning.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So there's our rant first.
Yes. It's your fault, Sandy. You brought it up.
Actually, Aaron brought that one up. I had nothing to do with
it. If it comes to traffic, I'll bring it up.
I'm just here with my Christmas. Let me put on my Christmas necklace. I'm just here in the Christmas spirit, enjoying the season. Aaron's getting into a lot of hot topics.
It's because I want people to just drive safer because no one needs to drive on the road like that. It's driving me nuts because it could be my family. My cousin died in a car accident. And no, it is. Yeah. Like my cousin died in a car accident. And for me, it's very, no one should have to go through something, that kind of trauma.
For no reason.
For no reason at all. Yeah.
So
anyway, there you go. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Aaron can get down off her soapbox now. But I do agree with her though.
Yeah, I'll get back up.
No, absolutely. It's a very dangerous situation.
All right, Sandy, we're going to let you go. tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and are you on tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much. We actually got some giveaways for tomorrow, folks. So
Ooh.
yeah, make sure you guys tune in. 'Tis the season. It's Christmas time. Yes, ma'am. The Grinch is trying to steal Christmas?
No, the Grinch likes pickles in his hot chocolate.
Pickles? Pickles in his hot chocolate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Fishies on the cake.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias, buenos dias, buenos dias. How are you guys? Trust you're well. I keep still forgetting to adjust this camera. Every morning I say the same thing, right? You guys are like, Sandy, what's wrong with you? Didn't you say that yesterday? I did, and I still forgot to do it. But I did accomplish something else in relation to my show. Slow incremental changes. So I've got a new controller here. I've got it untwist. It's a little bit too tight. And that'll help me switch from certain things a lot quicker, I think, although I've got to get used to these settings now. But anyway, I could have been using this last night with the Premiere. Most of the settings are like when you have guests and stuff like that on, it makes more sense to use this. So yes, so this is the world of tech. I've got a new controller here. Got a little upgrade for Christmas. Not a whole lot of space on my little standing desk. So I do have to be careful. And I've got to remember which. So we've got different, I don't have any guests on, so the other buttons don't really work right now. But I think this one, there's this one. I don't see any of these buttons working. What do I have to do to make them work? Strange. I'll have to figure that one out. The buttons are there. I just gotta figure out how to get them to work. Yeah, well, that would help. All right, folks. Good morning. Beautiful, beautiful day today. I haven't even looked outside. I'm like, it's just a beautiful day. Let me get my co-host I'm gonna get her she wants waffles this morning, which is a humongous improvement over the COOKIES request from yesterday. So we're going to go with waffles. I thought we had agreed that we were going to do oatmeal this morning and then waffles tomorrow. But I'm not going to press the point too much. So good morning to Miss Anne, Siobhan, Alice, Chantal, Catherine. Yes, these dump trucks are ridiculous. Lizette, good morning. Miss Morna, Mr. Louie, joining us from Detroit. Irvelyn says they do need to slow down. They are ridiculous. Wee Lavana says it's always been that way for restaurants. Yeah, they confuse people. Catherine Ralston, good morning. Exercise caution in these areas because Mary is mistaking for Mary, the eated and drunk and rose up to play. Oh my gosh, Chantal, Marshall, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Mr. Blair. Jaron has got it locked. Jaron, I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? Merry Christmas. Larry's here. Jackie, Irvelyn, Diamond Princess. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Ana, buenos dias. All right, folks, let me do a quick little commercial break so that we can get Miss Gianna her waffles. Let's do the LFT, because if you've got kids or anybody in your household, you really want to make sure that they understand how to do a correct LFT. And then also we've got some video footage of a thief on the loose. You know how we love liars and thieves around here. Let's see what Bobo and TD has to say.
Pepe, what are you making this time?
A special elixir to become Pepe the Invincible.
Oh boy. Actually, Pepe, we have a job to do.
What? A mission for Pepe the Invincible?
Okay, so there's a coronavirus test that we can do at home.
Yes, we don't need to go to the doctor or hospital.
I know. It's a lateral flow test.
Correct. Lateral flow test, or LFTs. Both grown-ups and kids use these more frequently to help slow the spread of COVID-19 in our community.
So, we thought we would help show you how to use it.
I agree. We should all know how to do it. And it works like a science experiment.
Let's get started. Before taking your lateral flow test, remember not to eat or drink for at least 30 minutes. I think that becomes the most challenging part of the test.
I agree.
Every good scientist knows to keep our work areas clean and tidy when starting an experiment. So begin by cleaning the space you will use for your test.
And if you're doing multiple tests, remember to clean your testing area and wash your hands very well in between doing each test.
Use a paper towel to prevent cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination. When germs get transferred from one person or object to another person or object. Wash your hands for at least 30 seconds and clean the area you use.
Open your kit. Lay out the contents.
Make sure you get a box of tissues or some tissue paper.
Now, look at the items from your kit. Check to make sure nothing looks broken, missing, or damaged.
Read all the instructions for your test before you do anything.
We use the Flow Flex test, but most lateral flow test instructions go something like this. Step 1. Remove the flow from the top of the extraction buffer tube. Because tubes can't stand up by themselves, place it into the hole in your kit box. If your kit comes with a tube holder, put it in the tube holder.
Step 2. Get the swab packaging. It looks like a Q-tip. Don't touch the soft side with your hands. If you touch it with your hands, the test won't work correctly.
Yes, that's right. The soft part will go into your nose, but not very far.
Only about 1.5 centimeters or ½ inch.
Step 3. Rotate the swab 5 times, brushing it against the inside of your nostril. That looks a bit ticklish. Yes, rubbing it against the side of your nose will probably tickle a little. When done with one nostril, use the same swab on the other side and rotate it 5 times again.
Step 4.
Put it into the tube and swirl it gently for 30 seconds.
Step 5. Gently squeeze the side of the tube while rotating the swab 5 times. See? Just like this.
This gentle squeezing while rotating the swab makes sure you get everything off the swab and into the mixture.
When you finish turning it, remove the swab while squeezing the tube to ensure you get everything. Step 6. Now watch closely. Attach the dropper tip firmly onto the extraction buffer tube. Make sure that it goes on good and proper, because you will mix everything thoroughly by swirling and maybe even gently flicking the bottom of the tube. Step 7. Now you'll need the pouch that contains the cassette.
Or as I call it, the rectangular results thingy.
So, take that out of the pouch and lay it flat.
Gently squeeze the tube. Put 4 drops on the specimen well. Like this. Easy peasy.
Almost there. Now just set the timer for 15 to 30 minutes and wait for the results.
The results have come in. Drum roll, please.
I see a red line.
A line across the C means that you have a COVID negative result.
That means the test did not find traces of COVID proteins, called antigens, in the sample.
A line across the C and the T means that you have a COVID positive result.
Don't worry if you test positive. It just means you need to take care of yourself.
Your parent or guardian will let you know what to do. And if they need more guidance, they can always call the flu hotline on 1-800-534-8600.
If you get no line across the C at all, it means that your test did not work properly.
That means you have to get another kit and do it again. That line across the C should always show up. And that's it, all done. Just make sure you clean up and throw all the testing bits away.
Wash your hands after the test for at least 30 seconds, and you're good to go.
Remember to report your results to your school and follow the directions they give you.
If you find yourself feeling worried, sad, or even angry about taking a COVID test, remember you can ask for help.
Some people may feel anxious about getting a positive result.
Talk to your parents or guardians.
You can even talk to your school counselor. You can also call the mental health helpline on 1-800-534-6463 to talk to someone who helps kids with their feelings, like Miss Sophia.
Stay safe, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.
That is so cute. I like it. Good morning, Blissful Powell. Good morning, Ralston. Long time no see. Yes, where have you been? The secret might be the filter that adds a little bit of makeup here and eyelashes. Ooh, the filter doesn't do anything but dirty glasses, though. I do use a filter now, just because it saves me. The biggest thing for me is I don't have to do anything to my eyes, which is always like, I'm like, ugh, you know, you get up, you wash your face, you have your shower, and then you got to go and put stuff on your eyes. To be honest, most mornings I just don't feel like that. So I don't mind a little lip coloring, lipstick, lip gloss, whatever. But now this gives me like a little additional coverage on the eyes. So it actually gives me eyelashes, which is kind of cool. So it could be that. And then I think it does a little bit of, it does something to the nose area as well. But aside from that, I have been using this avocado moisturizer in the morning. And I find that since I've been using that, I do feel like my skin is glowing a little extra these days. So who knows? Oh, you guys notice my, I've got, they're called skin tags. See, I've got them right. I tend to get them under my eye. Sometimes I used to go and get them lasered off, and to be honest, they come right back. So I can't be bothered. They're not too bad. I know some people really get them. I got them, I inherited them from my dad because he used to have them. And so I feel like I've inherited them from him as well. But I've got an appointment with the dermatologist. You know, every so often you guys should go and see. I actually went to see, I told you guys, Nurse Sarah. And, you know, she was like, oh, everything looks great. There's no sun damage, whatever. Listen, just because you're a person of a darker pigmentation doesn't mean that you should not go see the dermatologist and just get a little checkup here and there. You know, I'm not really a sun person anyway. Like, I don't spend exorbitant amounts of time in the sun because I have a sun sensitivity. So I've actually ended up in the hospital before for spending time in the sun. And it's not, I didn't think it was an exorbitant amount of time, but I was really basically dehydrated. And man, they put me in some IV drip and I couldn't get enough of it, apparently. So I was told by the doctor in the ER that, because I didn't know what was wrong. I was like, oh my gosh, am I having a heart attack? Because I was like throwing up and just all this stuff. And it came on very sudden. And they were like, yeah, you know, some people do have this sun sensitivity. So you just got to be careful. Wear sunscreen, wear a hat, you know, don't sit out in the sun for long. And I was just out handing out flyers, and that's kind of what happened. So good morning to the beautiful Daisy. Miss Sue's with us. Alice is here. Good morning, Alice. Thank you so much. Yeah, slow down, use your indicators, don't speed, don't drink and drive. Good morning, Carmelie. Yes, Uric Solomon had them, so I feel like that's inherited. Merry Christmas to everyone. So let's talk about a few things that are going on in the community. So first of all, last night, if you did not watch Premier Access, I must tell you that you missed a really good show. I mean, I thought it was by far the best one so far. And, the Premier's getting in his groove. This is only the third one, I think, that we've had. So Premier Access, folks, is every other Wednesday. So the next time he'll be on is the 5th of next year. The Premier comes in the program and he answers your question, whatever your questions are. Now, the questions are all over the place. I do kind of feel like maybe we should restrict it in the sense like there's certain evenings we can focus on certain things, like let's focus on the environment. And then we do all like environmental questions. That somehow makes more sense. Because with him really being, it was like he was going from the environment to development to COVID to, it was bloop, 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 like a little ping pong all over the place. But he answered the questions. And quite frankly, if he didn't know something, he wasn't ashamed to say, I don't know. Big shout out to our YouTube viewers. We've got about 40 people joining us on YouTube. We appreciate them logging in. So our regular YouTube channel is back up, but we do have a backup page as well, a backup channel. So like them both, because if something happens and we're offline in one, then you'll still get the show in the other one. Good morning, Scott. How are you? So good to see you. Scott's joining us from Waffle Monkeys. Waffle Monkey. And they've got some delicious sausage rolls over there, folks. Do you make them on today's Thursday, right? So Thursday is sausage day. I feel like it is. So go and check out Scott. Tell him Sandy sent you. Carla, thank you so much. Where were you? Where have you been? So good to see you. So on the program last night, we got a lot of questions answered. The majority of them were definitely about COVID and the current regulations and current situation. But, one person, I think it was Cameron, that was saying, what about the cruise ship? And it was revealed right on Premier Access, a bit of an exclusive, that the cruise ship will not be coming again. So no cruise ship next week. I think it was next week, Tuesday. Yes. So it was next week, Tuesday, and there will be no cruise ship. So essentially the Premier said, listen, they had concerns in the current climate, which is incredibly understandable, of transmission issues, obviously. And it is just one of those things where, it would have, in my opinion, probably not been the best of ideas. They were trying to really go back to the drawing board and say, can we get this additional protection in place? And I think that really at some point it makes no sense from the cruise line perspective. And they were just like, no, this is crazy. But, this is in light of, if you read her article, you'll see that Carnival Cruise Lines had their Symphony of the Seas had a massive, not massive, actually. I think we gotta be so useful when we use these words. It wasn't massive at all. They had a outbreak on one of their cruise ships that was docking in Miami on Saturday. So 48 people tested positive. But the interesting thing about this, and I was looking at the numbers, is in fact, it's not very many people at all. So 48 out of over 6,000 people, because this is the largest cruise ship that's out there, by the way. So the cruise ship has 6,000, let me see the numbers. 6,091 passengers and crew, 95% vaccination rate. So the vast majority of people would have been vaccinated, which is good for them because that means milder symptoms, less likely to be hospitalized and less likely to die of COVID, right? So at an infection rate, 48 people, that is only 0.78% of the people on board. So it's not even 1%. So when you think about it in terms of the percentage, 48 people isn't really all that many people. But when you hear people in the headline said 48 people tested positive in a cruise line, you're like, oh my God, stop the presses. That's like humongous. That's a lot of people. It really isn't. It sounds like a lot, but then you compare it to the total number of people on board and you understand that it's only 0.78%, less than 1%. Okay. And I bet you a lot of those people were not, they were double vaccinated, but they probably weren't boosted up or anything like that. Now, listen, they don't know yet if any of those are Omicron variants. I think they'll be testing for that, and they should probably know in the coming days. However, this is when it was docking back at the Port of Miami. Now, here's the thing. They have to test negative before they embark. So before they leave, they have to do a test and test negative. Now, it's entirely possible that wherever they stopped, they may have picked it up because one person apparently came down with symptoms and then they started contact tracing, and that's how they knew basically that they had 48 people on board. So the one person may have actually been negative at the start of the voyage, but then maybe they went into one of the islands. I mean, they stopped at St. Martin, St. Thomas, and there's a Royal Caribbean has a private island called Coco Cay, and they stopped there as well. So everyone has to be fully vaccinated. They have to test negative before departure. This cruise actually allowed children, which the one that was coming here, there would have been no children on board, but this cruise actually allowed children. And so children under 12 didn't have to be vaccinated, but they had to be PCR tested. And then crew members have to be fully vaccinated, and they are tested weekly. So they have a lot of precautions in place. Nothing's 100%, obviously. As soon as they tested positive, they were all placed in quarantine as well. But this was upon them returning to the Port of Miami. One of the big differences with Cayman situation is that we were actually going to have them come here first, which kind of contains the situation a bit more. In the sense that, if you come to Cayman first, then you wouldn't have stopped at any other location to pick it up. So the hope is that upon embarking on the cruise, you test lateral flow tests or PCR tests. Everybody's vaccinated. Our cruise line, also not our cruise line, but the one that was coming here, was actually working at half capacity. This Carnival cruise line, the Symphony of the Seas, was not working at half capacity at all. That was full capacity. Yeah. So the decision was made. I think it's a prudent decision, but you just can't. I was reading some of the comments across social media, and it's like, it's just one of those things where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It doesn't really matter what the government does, folks. People are just not going to be happy. Some people, I think our friend there in Cayman Brack was saying, oh, we're stopping the world for this. This is ridiculous. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, I don't think that the world is stopping. I think precautions are being taken. And everybody is in agreement that we have to give up something in order to get back to our regular lives. So one person said We're going to lose our tourism, and we are also going to lose our homes. It's almost 2 years. Are we going to live in a bubble for the rest of our lives, or come up with a strategy to deal with this? That's Desmond Douglas. What's the strategy? I mean, the strategy that we're using is essentially the same strategy that everybody else around the world is using, is you put certain restrictions in place without having to shut down completely. What other strategies do you have? This is what all of you scientists out there, your Facebook doctors, your micromanagers, you have, I actually have a master's degree in public administration, but you guys out there have a PhD in public administration. So all of you know how to run governments around the world because you're the experts and you've studied it. So my question is, give us, since y'all know everything, some of you, give us the strategies, because the government is speaking to experts, bona fide experts. They're seeing what other people around the world are doing, and then they're making decisions based on those things. And every single move that is done, everything that is done, it's just one of those things where people are like, oh, it's too restrictive, it's too this, it's too that. The bottom line, folks, is you cannot please all the people all the time. And when you get into politics, that should probably be rule number one. If you're too popular with everybody, you're probably doing something wrong, right? But people just are like, oh my gosh. Somebody else was like, oh, we're shutting down everything. And it's like, had we allowed the ship to come and then something happened, it would have been another slew of negative comments. It's just like, people, let's have a little bit of happiness for the season. Despite the circumstances, are we not in a much better position than we were last Christmas? We barely got to spend Christmas with anybody last year. So I just feel like, oh my gosh, the constant negativity. And, it's always the same people. I've noticed that as well. It's always the same negative Nancy's. Y'all just live a very negative existence. I'm like, my God, if your personal lives are like that, I feel sorry for you, actually. Good morning, Lavana. So good to see you. Perla's been working shifts, child. I understand, but thank you for being here. Miss Ann is happy that there's no cruise ships. Vernita, good morning. Hey, Kay, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Kay. I'm going to add my little happy birthday jingle back to my my control panel here. But happy birthday. Tommy is joining us from Tommy's at Bermuda. It's one of the B islands. So Damien says, so we're okay if all of our hotels are full from air travels. Both are all vaccinated. The Cayman Islands now has a total of 7,000 rooms available. It's 3 destinations, including 6,000. So I'm not sure if I understand the questions. Air arrivals versus cruise ships. Is that the question? Good morning to the lovely Sarah. You can go on the CDC website and view the COVID status of all the cruise ships. Thank you for that information. I don't know precisely what the government was asking, what additional, requests the government was asking of the cruise line. But I think there were a number of things that, obviously the Omicron variant is playing heavily on the minds of the government. And so my understanding is they went back to Holland, America, and said we would like this or these additional measures put in place. And Holland, America said no. At some point, I can totally understand probably their position. Like, how restrictive are you going to make it? You probably don't even really get to enjoy your trip. It's like, what's the point of taking a cruise? That's why I also don't get the consumers and all of this, right? So whether you are a consumer traveling to Miami for a shopping trip, or you are taking a cruise right now, or you going to Rub-a-Dub, My opinion is, as a consumer, you have to bear some of the responsibility of understanding that we're living in restricted COVID times and anything can happen at any moment. So yes, your rubba dubba lubba subba event can get canceled on that evening. And y'all should, that is to be, I wouldn't necessarily say expected, but I would say that it's not outside the realm of real possibilities. So, some water. Yes, ma'am, you may. So, I don't personally see why y'all are so shocked and surprised. Now, what might not be right is the fact that the promoters did not foresee this as well, and that they're not offering your refunds as they should be. Now, that's a whole different issue, right? But why y'all jumping up going shopping in Miami? All of a sudden, there's a shopping list that has to be completed in Miami. I don't know. I think it's an unnecessary risk. Speaking of Miami, I just received word. Thank you so much, co-host Kevin. He's always in the background sending me stuff. So Miami International Airport has issued a travel advisory. So you all know that everybody is going to want to be traveling right now. And so as a result of that, the airport's kind of full. And so Miami International has issued a travel advisory that basically says for international flights, you better give yourself 3.5 hours before your flight. Now, I don't know about you all, but this really not going to work for me. Not right now. That's why I'm staying put. I'm honestly not traveling. Because I'm one of those people, post 9/11, I had to really book it to show up to the airport on time. You know how many times I almost missed my flight? And Marilyn was always like, Sandy, get here now. I'm online checked in, all that kind of stuff, but you still got to give yourself enough time. And man, I was cutting it close a lot of times. That final trip to Walmart, or it's a one-day trip. So, you run out of time in your day. You had to go get that massage in the middle of the day, or whatever. Your trip to, what's it called? To, Cheesecake Factory, so that you can have your favorite lunch there. Oh man, they have some bomb salads. Oh my God. They have a factory chopped salad. It is the best. Anyway, these are the things that you do and the chances that you take. But now you better get there 3.5 hours before your international flight, because otherwise you're going to have some delays, which means that you could potentially be missing your flight. So here's the thing, 3.5 hours is that's a huge chunk of time. And it's, it might just be the case that if you're having connecting flights and stuff like that, you don't have 3.5 hours. So you've got to really plan carefully and think carefully about what it is that you are doing with your trip. So let me show you this advisory. And even if you're traveling domestically, because so many people are traveling Miami International saying, hey, give yourself plenty of time. 2.5 hours before your domestic flight. I've never heard of a domestic flight needing 2.5 hours in my life, but these are COVID times, folks. So these are the restrictions that we are living with. Yes, I'm gonna have my oatmeal this morning. Jean Scott, Jean or Jean? I think it's Jean Scott. You're absolutely right. There is that incubation period with COVID. And Carol says that the study so far is showing that this is a milder strain and it's already disappearing in South Africa. Africa cannot keep locking people down. But here's the thing. You don't know that until you know that. So this is the difficulty of the positions that governments are having to put themselves in, or not put themselves in, but they're having to face with COVID. They don't know. They don't have a crystal ball, right? So they do not know. And really and truly, in some respects, the verdict is still out with Omicron. So early signs are that maybe it is milder, even if it's milder, because it has a significant infection rate over the Delta variant, twice as many. That means that countries can expect increased hospitalizations. So every country around the world, again, I know that we all think we can run countries, but every country around the world just is not, their leaders are not willing to take that risk, because the risk of these huge infections really put a substantial strain on the entire infrastructure, the medical infrastructure of these countries. And they've only got so many hospital beds. And then there are people who are not even going to the hospital for treatment, and then they're ending up dying. So listen, folks, it is very, very important for them to keep the infection rates down as much as possible. And if that means restricting people's movements, then, it is what it is. So, and I don't personally think that this is a lockdown. I think that there's just measures that are being put in place. Perla wishes that people just go home and stay away from crazy people that don't care about the virus because they're at home, which is where the heart belongs. It would indeed be nice, I think, if more people just stayed home, like seriously. But, they're just not doing that. For me, it is difficult to understand why people are finding it necessary to be up and about as much as they are. I make one little trip to the grocery store and I'm done for the day right now. Flashpoint says that the government made the right decision. It's unfortunate but required in terms of the cruise ship. Good morning, Emma. Off island and fully vaccinated, but I had to test the second day here and the 15th day, and again before I leave, and 95% of the people here are vaccinated. Every home has a nurse come in and test and vaccinated the entire family. Emma, I'm curious to know where you are actually. Carol says last year she went to brunch this Christmas. As we have community spread, I'll be on my own. Oh gosh, much worse this year than last year, and my hands are stripping skin thanks to whatever stuff they're spraying on us. She says airborne virus, but let's spray people on bleach. Well, you can actually take your own hand sanitizers. I don't allow people to spray me anymore because I have concerns also about what's in the spray. And then in addition to that, they're spraying you too much. Like you go to the grocery store, you're being sprayed at entrance. And then if you go into certain areas, which they see as high risk areas, they want to spray you again. So I actually walk with I haven't had any issues yet with this. I walk with my bag of my hygiene bag. And in that, I have my baby wipes, right? Which when they offer to spray me, I just politely say, no, thank you. I've got my wipes, and I take that out and I wipe down my own cart and I wipe down my hands. And if my daughter's with me, I'll wipe her down and stuff as well. I agree that they're over cleaning surfaces and people when really this is an airborne virus, So what they need to be doing, which is quite interesting because I know that they're not, is they need to be filtering the air better than they are. So they need to upgrade their AC systems with special types of filters and filtration systems. And they need to just open the doors and let some fresh breeze in. Now, I know that in grocery stores in particular, that is very difficult, if not impossible to do. But, those are the things that work, folks, as it relates to containing this virus. Spraying people and spraying surfaces is really going to have a minimal impact. And I wish that more messages of that nature would get out there to businesses. So even when there's an infection and people message me, well, Is there any law that forces this company to deep clean and da-da-da? And I'm like, you do realize that that's not really what's going to keep their staff safe. They need to open up the windows if they can and let fresh air in to pull out all the air that contains the virus. Air filtration systems, that's the sort of thing that they need to be investing in. So having a professional cleaning company come in and sanitize your desk is fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because God knows there's other things that are on your desk that you should probably be concerned about for other reasons. I'm always confusing, Tommy's from the Bahamas, but who is it that joins the show sometime? Paul from Bermuda. So the other day I was saying, oh, Paul's from the Bahamas. And he's like, no, Bermuda. So that's where I think I'm confusing Tommy and Paul. Thank you so much, Tommy. He says we're all Caribbean folks. It's all good. So yes, I agree with Flashpoint. It is a balancing act. And, no decision is going to get 100% support from the people. I just think that it's unfortunate that some people are just negative all the time. How do you guys live such a negative life? I mean, does that mean that you're never really happy? I mean, everything is. Where's my friend? Who's a negative Nancy? What's his name again? Oh God, I'm just trying to find some negative comments, because if there's going to be a negative comment on a press briefing or any post, it is definitely coming from him. Oh, what's his name? Begins with a C. Oh gosh. I'm trying to just find a negative comment, because that's all and I'm just like, dude, I get that you don't like this government. Well, he says he doesn't like any government. So I'm like, all right, fine. But my goodness, how do you live life like that? Like every single thing you say is negative. I'm like, damn, that has to take a toll on your health. There's no way you can be that negative in life and your heart is really as good as it should be. Like, I mean, physically, negativity weighs you down, and folks, it's just not good for you. I'm trying to see, I'm just clicking on a few comments. Because he is negative OMG all the time. Oh my God. Let me see. What's his name again? Is he an Ebanks? I can't remember. Missy, where are you going? Anyway, he knows who he is. Is it Carson? I can't remember. But anyway, the negativity just blows my mind on a regular basis. Okay, that's all right. It just blows my mind on a regular basis, folks. Be grateful. I mean, honestly, be a little bit grateful in life. There's so much to be thankful for, even despite what's going on. Seriously. Y'all just don't know how good you have it, I think. I think that's part of the problem. Y'all can complain. You can afford to complain so much because, you don't live in a jurisdiction where you're having to worry about your next meal or people breaking into your home 24/7. I mean, of course we have our concerns, but it's not, there's so many worse places to be. I was watching the show the other day. Speaking of worse places to be, I was watching the show the other day. It's a YouTube channel called Hollywood Unlocked. So every once in a while, I watch my my Hollywood stuff, right? And they were talking about the situation in California, like Hollywood, where you see on TV, they've got the Hollywood, what's the area called, where they have all the stars, the sidewalk of stars, all that kind of stuff. And they were saying on that show how crime in Hollywood has just really gotten out of hand and so incredibly crazy that people are just, you know, they're like walking in broad daylight and getting robbed. You know, one woman had a gun put to her head and they stole her bulldog in the middle of the day. There was another lady who was coming home from shopping and they robbed her on her doorsteps. And someone was like, the other person on the other side of the door, like, what do you do? So they were having this whole discussion about how dangerous. One of the co-hosts on that show was saying that she was waiting for an Uber outside of a Walgreens somewhere in Hollywood, and she saw these young men coming towards her, and she legit like started to panic and get afraid. And then, you know, the Uber just showed up in the nick of time where she was able to jump into the Uber. I'm just like, I was trying to process how they must feel. Because here in Cayman, we don't live with that level of constant anxiety and fear, but I still feel like you guys create an inflated situation that's overly anxious. Good morning, Mr. Dean Shillette. How are you? Season's greetings. I think it's unfortunate, right? That is exactly what's happening. Anyway, Clinton. Yes, that's my friend. But boy, Clinton is negative OMG. Like, honestly, I can't be around that type of negativity all the time. Like, seriously, I really can't. For me, it just drains you at a totally different level. So try seeing a little bit of positivity in the world, folks. How hard can it be? Have yourself a cup of hot chocolate and see the rainbows for a minute in life. Jesus, be thankful. You know, every single morning we wake up and we have health. We're in our right frame of mind. I mean, my God, you have so much to be thankful for. Every day I give thanks. So let's take a quick commercial break here, folks. I'm so excited about 2022. Like, honestly, I'm looking forward to 2022. Speaking of y'all and your negativity, have a look at this.
Yes. Well, you don't really need to thank us for that. We don't have any say who wins a People's Choice Award. Yeah, it's right there in the name. All right. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Amen. Hello, God's tech support. No, sorry, he's busy. How can I help? Pandemic. Sure. Awful. Let's just check. I see here we did send you some scientists and doctors, and it looks like they've come up with some simple ways to help end the pandemic. Vaccines, masks, simple stuff. You don't trust them. And the reason? Some politicians, podcast hosts, and someone on Facebook said not to. I see. Okay, so let's see if I understand this correctly. There's a pandemic that's killed millions worldwide. You have the solutions to help end the pandemic, but you don't want to. Don't worry. I think I know what the issue is. You have what we in tech support call a 1D10T problem. That's right. If you could just write that down. Yeah. 1D10T. That's right. It does look like it spells idiot. Hey, I think we're going to have to reboot Earth.
Yeah, folks, something needs a reboot. Ms. Sue says she agrees that they're spraying too much. This person says that they think that they're spraying water. Child, you got to change your name from the Arabic name. Flashpoint says too many people don't appreciate that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's still important to act responsibly and to follow the best available public health recommendations and guidance. Yes, Flashpoint. People acting like this is over. It's over in their head, I guess. And they just want to move on. Fling everything back open, they say. And then when the SHIT hits the fan, then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, why did the government do that? Can't listen to all the people all the time. Thank you, Lavana. They've taken a break. She's taking a break at her restaurant until January 3rd. Beautiful. A little Christmas break for everyone. That's good. Perlo says, have you noticed that most buildings have no windows? Most offices near a glass window, but it's usually the bosses that have the better view, but don't or even open a window if they have any. Well, most modern buildings don't have windows that are meant to open. Isn't that crazy? So they're there for, I guess, to let in sunlight and some natural lighting. But yeah, I have noticed that. Thank God most homes are not built like that. Because I can tell you what, when we had positive COVIDs in my household, the first thing I did was open the windows and the sliding glass doors and restricted people to the COVID room. And the COVID room has a nice big sliding glass door that can open, plus it has 3 windows. And I would open at least one of those along with the sliding glass door. And it was kind of nice to get some fresh breeze in the place too. And I honestly think that that's why I didn't get it, because I was, as much as possible, irrigating the air. Because let's be honest, I was sleeping in bed with a COVID positive patient, my daughter. And I was fortunate enough not to catch it. So what is this about? Was there an issue about the In God We Trust bills that they were planning to remove it? I don't know anything about that. I can certainly look it up. Miss Darlene says, good morning, Sandy. I cut off negative people from a long time ago. They'll drain you to the bone. Yep, it really does take a toll. Okay, I don't know how you guys got on this topic about the US dollar bill, but thank you, Emma. I did see your comment. All right, so there's a thief on the loose, in case you guys were wondering. They're always on the loose. Let's have a look at this brazen thief, because this one got some nerves. He got some more nerves than a tooth. Check him out. Well, Omar. Shame on you. What were you thinking? That we weren't going to find out who you were? Oh, you didn't realize the people had a camera in their room. Because you think you can steal $2,000 and get away with it, and that's going to be the end of that. Well, we got a surprise for you, sir. We know exactly who you are this Thursday morning. Omar McClellan, hailing from Manderville, Jamaica, putting Jamaicans to shame yet again. Wow. Look ya. Omar can afford to wear a big chain and gold jewelry because he's stealing from people. $2,000 is a lot of money, folks. And that is not easy to come by. And you see what I tell you about people wanting to live above their means? You can live any kind of lifestyle you want with your, custom belts and name brand this and that if you're working for it. But if you're not working for it, then you shouldn't be stealing it from other people. Oh my God, what is wrong with people? Ugh. You guys just hear the disdain in my voice for this kind of activity, and it's happening all the time. So here's Omar. He says, life is good, love it. Of course it's good. It would have to be good. Because when you're stealing from people, why would you worry? Well, if you know Omar, let him know that he's featured on CMR this morning. Go tell him he's famous. Say, Omar, I saw you on Mall Road, honey child. You are famous now, brother. The kind of fame that you really don't want. Believe me. Omar used to be a browner skin man. He'd been bleaching too. Poor thing. Well, hopefully Omar is headed straight to jail. Do not pass go. Because this type of behavior is disgusting. It's illegal. And quite frankly, it will land you in jail. So the police now have, the case, and they have hopefully all the evidence that's required for a conviction. My goodness, what is wrong with people? Now, Omar, like I said, is from Manderville, Jamaica. I don't know where Omar works, but hopefully Omar will be finding himself out of a job and in jail and, also deported after he serves his time in jail. My goodness. Can you guys help explain the logic to me? Omar was born in 1989. How old does that make Omar? 1989. He works in construction, my sources have indicated. So he probably makes decent money. I mean, a lot of construction guys do okay. 1989, we're in 2021. So Omar is 32 years old. Not that age is an excuse, but I kind of feel like when you're not a teenager and you really have no excuse for doing stupid things. But anyway, I guess at 32 and 63 and 55 and 42 and whatever, people are still doing absolutely ridiculous things. So Omar, welcome to the CMR Thief Club, the Jackass of the Day Club. Magdalene says report him to work so that his permit, if he has one, can be revoked. The employers need to step up and start just automatically revoking these after the person. Like that kind of evidence, it's not like you can now say, Omar is going to give you a story with his side that you're going to be like, why are you going through somebody's personal room? Even if you share, other spaces like common spaces in a house, what he was doing there is not okay. Like you don't do that. Digging into the closets, digging up in their bed, looking for where they could possibly have money. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. No. No. Where you have looking to see where somebody has money hidden. Bink says, send him home before the new year, old wicked thief. Yeah, send him home, yes. Well, here comes Perla with a very good question. Perla says, is he a work permit holder or has he married a Caymanian already? Because that's the thing to do when you come here and you want to secure yourself. And there's so much slackness amongst Caymanians that they will allow him to remain here as a spouse. Let me get the 411. So Deep Blue Sea says, so is Omar going to be deported after he's dealt with, or are we still in the mode of, SHIT, whole nation building? Probably the latter, Deep Blue Sea. And Magdalene makes the same point. If he's not already married to some fool Caymanian, they probably run and go marry him now, because all of a sudden he's marriage material because he's a criminal. It's a hot mess. Irvin says there's a lot more like him here. Yes, this is a problem. Larry says criminals are some of the dumbest people on earth and should be locked up for as long as possible. Well, some criminals are smart, but they do dumb things. Background checks often aren't going to pick up on things like this because they've been getting away with it. What a mess, child. Well, it is what it is. Omar, I'll see you in court. Yeah. Hopefully the police have arrested him already. And they will be dealing with that situation as expeditiously as possible. We need to have a CMR thieving club to add y'all. So how will the victim get compensated back? Someone is wondering. Maybe his pension should be seized and use that to pay back the victim. That's if he has any pension money left. Because remember, the government allowed y'all to raid your pensions and some of you left nothing behind. Yeah. What a mess. All right, Senor Omar, shame on you. What else came out of the session yesterday? I'm just trying to remember. Oh, so let me talk about something of interest that happened. So we, during the show, obviously, when the premier said that this cruise ship was not coming, we thought, oh, wow, this is actually kind of a big deal. This is breaking news. Like when he said it, I had to pause for a minute. I was like, what did he just say? This is a CMR, another CMR exclusive. You know, we use that term a lot. So I'm like, oh, is it really an exclusive? Well, it's an exclusive. You not hear it nowhere else. That's what makes it an exclusive. And we get a lot of exclusives because we got some really good sources. So anyway, I was like, ooh, another CMR exclusive. And good old Kevin, he was listening to the program. And I was actually having some computer issues. You guys might remember I had a little outage at some point. And then when it came back, I couldn't see any of my browser tabs. Like I had a browser open, and I wasn't able to switch to any of the tabs because the entire top portion had disappeared. So I looked at it and I said, oh, that means I'm going to have to restart my computer. I hate restarting my computer, but I know I should do it more often. And because I couldn't see a browser tab, I couldn't go to the website and put up the story. Because you guys know, when we get a little nugget, we're like, start writing that story. So I said to Kevin, I said, hey, Kev, can you start drafting a story for me? He's like, I'm ahead of you. I'm on it. He's good. I like Kevin. So Kevin did up a draft for me. And then I had to message Renee in Miami and said, hey, Renee, can you put it up? And then later after the show, once I restart my computer, I'll go in and fiddle with it a little bit more. So next thing I know, somebody sends me this snippet. And they said, is Luke Cayman trying to say that they got your story? They got this story exclusive first. So I'm going to show you what someone sent me because this is a little bit funny. And I said, how would that be possible? So hold on. This is what someone sent me. They said, Why are they acting like they break it? And I'm like, that's interesting. I didn't know that Loop was a fan of the show, but thank you so much, Loop, for watching. That's fantastic. And I didn't read the article, but somebody else says they made no mention of where they got it from, or that he said it on your show. And I said, ooh, now that is no bueno. No bueno. You can't do that. So you got to list your sources, folks. This is journalism 101. If you don't list your sources, then that means like you're acting like you got the exclusive somehow, like you had the exclusive track. Now, if you're unable to name your sources, like me, a lot of my sources are so confidential, I'll just say a CMR source. So it's not like, I just pulled it out of thin air or whatever. My sources don't need any credit. But in a situation like this where you saw it somewhere else, according to a CNN report, Fox News reported that. I mean, you'll see our stories all the time, especially Renee, because Renee does a lot of what we call kind of rewriting of stories. So it's not like we contacted the company, got a quote from them. It is a situation where somebody else reported on it. Numerous other media houses reported on it. And then we pick up the AP story. When it's a situation like this where nobody else would have had this information, you know what you do? You simply say, on the Cold Hard Truth this evening, the Premier revealed that there would be no cruise ships coming to the Cayman Islands. And they didn't do that. So I reached out to their editor and I said, hold on a second here. I got a bone to pick with you. So she said that she'd been traveling and somebody else wrote the story. And they just fixed it this morning. Yes, I was told that they just fixed it this morning. Somebody just sent this to me and said they literally just fixed it a few minutes ago. Yeah, I don't know why it would take them so long to even make such an adjustment. And they also misquoted the Premier. So they got his quote wrong. So we thank you for fixing it. And I don't know, like I said, who is helping Loop out and writing for them. But make sure that they know a little thing or two, about how to write stories and about journalism, ethics in journalism. So now we have, via live stream and Kim and Monroe. Yeah, that's where the story came from. Nobody else had the story. Now, to be fair to the Premier, and I want to clarify this, he was actually not trying to give us an exclusive. I mean, we don't prep the Premier in any way, shape, or form about the questions that are coming. Even though sometimes people will send me questions in advance, I don't actually show them to the Premier because I don't think he should have questions in advance. Nobody on my show, with maybe the exception of some commercial entities. So, like companies might come on and say, okay, these are the things that we wish to cover, right? Because they're paying for the time. That's a different situation. But when it comes to politicians and NPOs and just other guests, we don't sit there and write a script like, okay, I'm going to ask you this, and this is going to be your answer. No, we don't do that. So he didn't know the question was necessarily coming. And as you can see, when you go back to, let's play the clip actually of the question. When you go back to it and you listen to how he answers the question, you'll actually recognize that he was a little bit unsure of how to answer. Not that he was unsure, but he hesitated for a minute. And my understanding is that it could have been a situation where the release was supposed to come out already about this, and it just hadn't happened. So have a look at the video. Miss Gigi, leave those papers, please. And you know what else is very, very interesting? Apparently some other media houses, I suspect other meaning the Compass, is complaining that, how did we get an exclusive? Y'all are so petty. Seriously? You know that Mr. Saunders has never been on the show yet. We got to lock him down, but he hasn't been in the program. He's been on with Rejma quite a few times. I understand that Rejma has gotten in her feelings about her program. And apparently she has cried like literal tears saying that I don't like her. Now, I don't know where Rejma would have gotten that story from, because I honestly have no issues with Rejma. If I sit here and I mention something that's transpired, that doesn't mean I don't like you, or that, don't cry about it, please. You make me feel bad when you cry. So anyway, she's been crying to some of the elected officials that I don't like her. And I'm like, but that's actually not true. But, they go on her show, makes her feel better. That's perfectly fine. But sometimes when they go on her show, they'll say things. There's been things that Mr. Saunders has said on more than one occasion that they've then pulled a story out of. And that was an exclusive for the Compass. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why you have guests on a program, because something might actually come of that. A couple days ago, they interviewed the governor. They did a Christmas interview with the governor. And an exclusive that came out of that, apparently, is that the governor said the Trump administration had actually contacted him about Skylar Mack in that case, but he wouldn't go into any specific details about, what was said and kind of what transpired, because he said these are things between governments. But that was an exclusive because no one ever knew that they had actually contacted the governor's office. Now, we know that her family, I'm trying to use my back scratcher here. We know that her family had reached out to them. And they had, made attempts to interfere, or we figured that they were making attempts to interfere, but the governor never confirmed it. Local politicians never confirmed it. And there were rumors running amok about it the entire time. So that was an exclusive that came out of an interview. So why would they be up in their feelings because they feel like we got an exclusive last night? It's like, y'all are so petty. Petty people. But here was what the premier actually had to say. And the other thing is, if you're going to do a story off of something he said on this program or any other program, try to get the quote right in the story. And they actually got it wrong. Cameron wants to know about the cruise ship. So we do have a cruise ship that is coming next week, Tuesday, to our shores. That cruise ship is still scheduled to come?
No.
Oh, okay. That's breaking news here, folks.
The circumstances have changed in relation to this cruise ship situation. Obviously, a lot of circumstances are constantly evolving, and unfortunately, I have a colleague who I used an expression once saying that circumstances have conspired against us. So my colleague often says to me, "How can circumstances conspire?"
Right.
The truth is, this is one of these scenarios where circumstances conspire against you, and the situation changes. There are a variety of issues that present themselves, and you realize it's probably not the best thing for this to continue. The risk profile and the circumstances and the potential benefit that you thought was going to happen look likely or less likely to materialize, and the risk profile looks likely to shift against you. So we have taken the position that we're not going to proceed with this cruise ship visit. Unfortunately, it will have some impact on some folks, but I think by and large, most people probably feel that it wasn't the right time. It wouldn't be the right time, and it really reflects sort of mixed messaging to allow that to continue on the 28th.
All right, folks. So you heard it here first on Premier Access. That's why you got to listen to the program. So, that's how it works. Sometimes you get a little nugget when they're live. Don't get up in your feelings now. I don't think that the premier is giving any preferential treatment. It was, as you can see, a question that came from a viewer. And that was a bit of breaking news. So we appreciate them correcting the story and giving us credit. You give credit where credit is due. There have been a couple times when this has happened. And I remember, there's a couple pivotal moments in your development as a company when you go, oh, this is kind of a big deal. So I remember some time ago, maybe 2019, might have been 2018, we broke a story about OffReg. You guys remember this? About them over there almost coming to physical blows. And we did a whole story on it. Other media picked up the story and had to give us credit, including The Compass and Cayman News Service. They both ran the story, and I think Cayman News Service ran it first. And they said in their publication, this was according to Cayman Mall Road, because they didn't know if the story was true or anything, but it was a very interesting story. And so they wanted to run the story, and, they had to give us credit. So at the time, they were still calling us a blogger. That's changed recently, but they were like, according to Cayman Mall Road. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for the acknowledgement, and it is what it is. Nobody else had that source. And that's why we get a lot of information. We get a lot of stories that nobody else has. And part of the reason for that is we really have our ears to the ground. Like, we listen to what's happening in the community. So another story this week that was another CMR exclusive is that Minister J.E. Banks and his permanent secretary both have COVID, and it's likely that it's the Omicron variant. You guys heard that here first. Sometimes CNS and The Compass will get a story first. The one about Mr. What's his name? Edlin Miles. We broke that story first. Then The Compass and I don't know if Loop. I think Loop did something on it as well. They, followed with stories. The headline over at CNS had me chuckling though, because Wendy don't really play. She was like, fraudster given seat on transport board. Y'all would have been up in arms if we had called the man a fraudster, but that's what he is, because that's what he was convicted of. But, we went easy on the headline. And, same exact story. And it is what it is. So don't feel bad because CMR might get an exclusive. In fact, the interesting thing about it is everybody thinks that we have a very cushy relationship with this government. We enjoy a cordial relationship with this government, unlike the previous government. I mean, there's no denying that the relationship with this government is much better than it was with the progressive administration. And that was a choice on the side of the progressives administration. I was actually talking to someone yesterday, and I was recollecting when they first got elected, that would have been even before CMR was around, how I had reached out to various members of the progressives, because outside of what's obvious that we do here in CMR, my company actually offers social media management services and other services. So I reached out to them and said, hey, you guys interested in any of our services? This is before COVID, before CMR, the whole 9 yards, right? And I'll remember Austin, we had sent him a proposal. We sent John a proposal, all these guys, And I remember Austin saying to me, oh, Sandy, I would really like to work with you, but I'm going to be sharing an office space with Alden in Grand Harbor. That's where they were supposed to have had an office, never happened. And so, he doesn't care for you. So that's not going to work. I said, okay, no problem. I don't want to say that was a mistake, getting in bed with Alden, but I'm going to say it was a mistake. That office never materialized. He used Austin as his workhorse donkey, had Austin doing all kind of work hidden away in the golden towers of the government building, and y'all didn't know what the hell Austin was doing. Anyway, you see how that worked out for poor Austin. Alden's still up in there collecting his thousands a month. Nonetheless, here's the article that I was just thinking of. This was back in September of 2018. So it was 2018. Wow, time is just flying by. And it says here, this was this was the what do you call it? The CNS story, right? So let me just show you guys this in case you don't believe me. I think sometimes I sit here and I tell y'all stuff, and sometimes you must be like, does Sandy really know what she's talking about? Well, y'all know I try to get my facts. So yeah, this was back in 2018. We were already, oh, I hate when this happens. I don't know why this screen flickers. Hold on. Let me refresh it. There we go. It does that every so often, just flickers like crazy. So here's the story. And you see this paragraph here? The chain of events is documented largely in the leaked minutes, which were all published this weekend by Cayman Mall Road, a local blog site owned by Sandra Hill. The minutes were not signed, but Hill made the decision to publish it in the public interest, given the revelations about an agency which seems to be falling well short of its mandate on a number of fronts. It goes on to say, the documents have since been verified. And the chairperson of the board told the Cayman Compass that the minutes were not yet signed off on because he believed they exaggerated the threats of violence between him and Dunn, described as hyperbole. So thank you. And they actually linked the little story and stuff as well. I don't know why it's going to this story, but anyway, I think they put in the wrong link there, but I guess they're trying to link it to the original story. But yeah, we broke that story like so many others. So I think it's so funny now that some people are like, oh, she's only breaking stories because, she's friends with the PAC government. Well, that's actually not a true statement. And if you go back to our inception, we started in June the 29th or 30th of 2017. The very first story that went up on the website was a breaking news story that nobody else had. And that was that Blake, what's his first name again? Bruce Blake had been arrested along with Canova Watson in another anti-corruption case. We named and we had it all up and everybody's like, oh, could this be true? Who the hell is Cayman Mall Road? What do they know? And since then, we have been breaking stories ever since, getting all sorts of exclusives. So don't get in your feelings because of it. All right, Miss Darlene, since I know this is off topic, but I'd like to stick this in. As you know, I'm a disabled person, double amputee, and renal failure. And I can't begin to tell you how limited and challenging it is to live a normal life home. Aw, this breaks my heart because, Miss Darlene lives in the UK and she's visiting. How long are you visiting for, Miss Darlene? But, she obviously is now feeling the difference between living here and living in the UK. And she goes on to say, the majority of restaurants and even better yet, public places, even the HSA, there has a blue spot and no flat ramp for wheelchair, or in my case, my roller walker. Went to the Sea Harvest a family dinner and there's no way a person like myself or even worse disability. Where is Sea Harvest? I don't even know where that is. This is a sad situation. And I thank you for highlighting it. We do have a disability council here. And I wonder if this is not something that the Disability Council could undertake with a view to getting some changes made. And to me, this isn't anything that's earth-shattering that they would have to do, but it's a very small change. that could really make the difference in the lives of a lot of people with disabilities. So thank you for highlighting that. I also wanted to highlight a jackass of the day who was at A.L. Thompson's the other day. There's a person at my front door. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let's take a quick commercial break while I ascertain who's at my front door and why.
Season's greetings to all my fellow Caymanians and to all those who are visiting the Cayman Islands at this special time of year. The festive season is here, and some people are saying, wow, Christmas already. While for some others, it seems like Christmas has taken its time to finally come around. Whatever your perspective, one thing's for sure, and that is Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without our family and friends around us. To laugh and joke and eat some good festive food. And to be honest, that's the best part of Christmas for me. As you prepare to enjoy the traditions of the special season, I ask that you remember that for some of our friends and neighbors, it's been a long and challenging year. So please, let this holiday season once again be the time where our spirit of Cayman kindness, which we're well known for all over the world, overflow into the hearts and homes of those in need, so that they too, especially the children, can have a very Merry Christmas. As this year draws to a close, I'm thankful to God that we've made it through these struggles and can look forward to 2022 with hope and optimism. On behalf of my family and the staff at the Ministry of Tourism and Transport, I wish everyone, especially my constituents in Georgetown Central, a joyful Christmas season, and I pray that the new year will bless you all with health, happiness, and prosperity. With that being said, Feliz Navidad, Malagayan Pasco, and happy holidays. And remember to please share this message with your friends.
All right, folks, thank you so much for that Christmas greeting. So I was looking back through my messages, Miss Darlene, because I wanted to show, someone had sent me this on Monday, actually, and I've been so busy that I've not yet had a chance to put it up. But look at this special person who had no respect for a handicap spot, a blue spot. And for some reason, they just, even after being spoken to about it, they just don't care. So here is his vehicle, since he's so big and bold with it. Parked in a handicap spot, no handicap sticker, nothing. And then when he was spoken to, he's just going to stand up there looking pretty. Look, yeah. Like, leave me alone. Why are you harassing me? And this is the type of thing that people who have a disability are having to live with, because Miss Darlene, heaven forbid, you decided to go to A.L. Thompson's at that same time. Both spots were taken up by non-handicapped people, more than able-bodied. So this person sent me this on WhatsApp and said, can you expose this donkey? Look at what he did after I asked him if he's aware it was a handicap. I asked him if he was a handicapped person. And they went in for 30 minutes and left, and he was still there. And then they say, as a matter of fact, a Jamaican fellow was parking next to him on the next handicap spot. And because I did give up to him, I think this is what I did go up to him, he moved. So people are having to fight on a constant basis, to get the handicap spots to even remain free for people who really need them. Isn't that sad? Yeah, listen, exactly, Deep Blue Sea. The security guards apparently don't have that mandate. They're being told simply to check your receipt to make sure that you're not defrauding, I guess, the company in any way. But that's it. Nobody else cares about, these types of quality of life issues. This is a quality of life issue. And I agree with Miss Darlene that this is really, really unfortunate that she has to endure this type of situation. Let's see what we can do about it, folks. On this program, we're not just about talking. We want to think that we are talking with a purpose. And that by exposing and highlighting certain things, the people think about it and go, oh yeah, a ramp would make sense for somebody with a disability. I think that those of us who don't have disabilities, Ms. Darlene, this isn't an excuse, but this is a possible explanation. That's why the Disability Council has people on it, or should have people on it. I know Miss Kathy, I don't know if she's still on it, but she was, Kathy Frazier. She has a disabled son. There should be people on those types of councils who experience this type of thing on a daily basis, that they know the challenges. And so they can say, you know what, this is what should be required with buildings. And this is what they need. And this is, these are the things that make sense. It's like you go into a public facility and there's no restroom that's handicap accessible. What are handicapped people supposed to do? Not use the bathroom? It's just crazy. So I thank you for highlighting it. And nothing's off topic on this show in the sense that, a lot of times we're talking about different issues, but if it's important to you, then gosh darn it, it's important to the rest of us as well. So thank you for that. Okay. Big shout out to the Cayman Islands Fire Service. They were out this week bringing some joy to children in the Cayman Islands. They collaborated with the Cayman Islands Motorcycle Riders Association for their annual Christmas Toys for Tots donation drive on Sunday. And so they were out and about giving out toys. So, we have to recognize that there are a lot of organizations that do a fantastic job, especially this time of year, really caring about others in the community, and they're willing to assist and to give. And this is very much appreciated, because I think otherwise there might be a lot of children who don't necessarily have a really good Christmas otherwise. Now, speaking of having a good Christmas otherwise, I have someone who stopped me yesterday. I had gone into the grocery store for round one of my shopping. So I need to go through my other recipes and just make sure that I've got everything that's on my list. And they stopped me and they said, oh, Sandy, I'm looking for about 4 or 5 people, families in need, that, could use a little help during the Christmas time. This is a local businessman. He wants to remain anonymous. He's not doing it for any credit or anything like that. And so he wanted me, he said, you're more connected about what's happening in the community. So if you don't mind, could you send me some information? And I wanted to reach out to you all. I mean, I feel like I've always got people on my list who are receiving some level of assistance, but I also believe in spreading it around. Don't always help the same people, because those same people kind of need to pull up their bootstraps as well and help themselves. But if you know of a few people, different circumstances, who might be in need, the person didn't say exactly what they would be donating. Maybe it's, a Christmas dinner or some groceries or whatever. Do send me a message, and I'd be happy to put a little list of people together. It's only 4 or 5 people. So, but if you know someone who definitely could benefit from having some Christmas cheer added to their life, please let me know. Yeah, because we're all here to try to help each other, folks. So let's get that done. Speaking of Christmas cheer, I couldn't help but see in my memories, this was 2017. This popped up. Look at this. One big happy family. This was our Christmas card that year. We did a fun photo shoot with everyone in the family. Miss Gigi. She can't hear me. She's got on her headphones today. We did a photo shoot with the family, and we did a photo shoot with the family, and of course Coco was there. Little Miss Gigi was just, how old would she have been here? She was born in 2016 August, so she was a little bit over a year. So yeah, she was already walking and everything at this point, obviously. And this was such a cute phase for her, I think. The hair was starting to get long and out of control. Lots of curls. Oh my goodness. So that was us celebrating Christmas, and we did a Christmas card. We didn't do any pictures last year because I feel like the situation with Coco, just I wasn't really feeling much of the Christmas spirit at all. And I can't necessarily say that this year is any better in terms of that. But I think that after Christmas, I'll do some photos. Well, I have no choice now but to wait until after Christmas because I literally haven't booked any. But that's okay. I'm okay with it. So yeah, we will, we'll do some photos, I feel like, afterwards. Okay, so let me just have a quick look and see. So yeah, Facebook is always reminding me of these memories, child. Always. They show up as part of your profile, your sort of your story feeds. And it's kind of interesting to see some of the things that they're reminding you of, really. Memories. Yeah. All right. Good, folks. Thank you, Perla. She says, I can hear you get emotional when you speak about Coco, but it's okay to cry if you want to. Yeah, it was still, it was such a traumatic situation, to be honest. It was, I think, a horrible way to lose a pet. And I don't think you get over things like that. You just learn to live with it. But yeah, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but I was out in the yard and I heard the dogs barking, and it literally enraged me to hear them outside. I was like, what are those dogs doing outside? Like, it's... Folks, big shout out to Prodigy Jewelers, Reliable Industries. Now listen, Christmas is here, and a lot of you, like myself, you're going to be doing cooking on Christmas Day, and you know what happens with cooking. When you cook, it comes with a mess. No other way to say it. You're cooking, the floor gets messy, stuff drops on the floor, stuff drops on the stovetop, on your counters, and it's just a hot mess. And so it is always useful to have an extra pair of hands around the place, and there's nothing wrong with that. Did you know that you can actually contact Reliable Industries and book someone to come and help you with your post Christmas Day cleanup? If you're even if you need somebody, I don't know, it might be a little bit late now, but today is Christmas Eve. But you need to get in there afterwards and clean out all the grease and the what's the little paneling called above your stove, your vents, and all kind of stuff. Listen, Reliable is your go-to, folks. Miss Sharon over there has got a complement of staff that can help you with your post-Christmas cleanup. And my motto is this: if I'm doing all the cooking, should I really be the one to be doing all the dishes and all the cleanup as well? Well, in my household, the short answer is no. I shouldn't be. And so, but when it's Christmas time, sometimes you have a situation where you don't always want to even impose on other people within your household. You're kind of like, oh gosh, I feel bad asking other people on Christmas Day or the day after, oh, you want to chip in and help me, wrapping paper all over the place. Your guest bathroom looks like a mess because, the people were, the few guests that you had over were used. It's just like, it's a hot mess, right? And so, yeah. Okay, I feel like something dropped in here, but I have no idea. Oh, I see what it is. Ugh. Okay, I was just like, what on earth was that? So yes, folks, my apologies. So yeah, you almost can't be bothered with the post cleanup, but it has to be done. Give Reliables a jingle.
Ho, ho, ho! I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Don't make it a blue Christmas by delaying on ordering your propane for that Cayman beef and turkey. Be like the 3 wise men who rode through the night and prepare for the 12 days of Christmas. Hark! Propane makes all the herald angels sing. Feliz Navidad! Contact Home Gas early for your Christmas propane order at 949-7474.
Christmas time is about family, caroling, church services, and dirty dishes, cleaning floors, and power washing your house. Don't let the ghost of Christmas chores make you a Scrooge. Call Reliable Industries today for all of your house cleaning needs. Our professional services are perfect for Christmas time to let you forget the hassle of housework and focus on the important things, spending quality time with your family. Reliable Industries offers an array of gold standard residential home services, including professional house cleaning, window washing, pressure washing, HEPA filter cleaning, professional kitchen hood cleaning services, and more. A happy home is a healthy home, and there's no time like the holiday season to make your home the happiest. Don't forget that Reliable offers gift certificates and gift baskets for your loved ones. Call Reliable Industries today at 949-9303 to speak to a customer service rep to book your services. Reliable, serving the community for over 30 years with quality and pride.
All right, folks. So gift certificates, I think, is an excellent idea as well. And that's the way to go. You're not sure what to give someone? Give them something very practical. Post-Christmas Day cleanup. Okay, folks. There was a typhoon in the Philippines a couple of days ago. And it was a devastating, in our terms, it would be a Cat 5 storm with miles of over, I think, 160 miles per hour. Absolutely devastating. CMR covered this story. Not for nothing, but we're the only ones who do a lot of regional and international news. And, we have a large Filipino community here. And so we were very, very saddened to hear that this had happened to, people in the Philippines, because there's a lot of people here who are, that's family, that's friends, everybody's so interconnected. So we do have Michelle, who's going to be joining us now to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Philippines post the typhoon and how people here in the Cayman Islands can assist with some relief efforts. So good morning, Michelle.
Hi, Miss Sandra. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
It's our pleasure, and we're really, really, really so thankful to you and your Cayman Marl Road, and always for being there for the Filipinos. Thank you, Miss Sandra.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So give us an idea, my dear, of what happened. I mean, I got some photos and some pictures, and it looks just devastating. The poor people have obviously been hit very, very hard by this storm. Oh, my gosh, what's going on?
Actually, I think this is one of the strongest typhoon that we have back home. For first time, the coverage is really wide and it's moving slow, so that's why the devastation is so much. So it first hit, it's category 5, so it first hit the provinces and the islands really close to the Pacific Ocean. So there's a lot of tourist spot islands in the southern part of the Philippines, in Surigao. We call it Surigao. So that was the very first island that was first hit.
Wow.
So imagine a newly built gymnasium just inaugurated. The people run there for shelter, but like after a couple of less than half an hour, the whole roof was blown away. These are all made of metals and, newly built. And people got scared. They have to go inside the washroom because of course, it's all concrete, but it's really bad. All plants, roof, the whole place, all roof, all like even the houses that are concrete, they don't have any roof. They
Wow.
can literally see, fridges, and it's like you are a tornado pass over the place.
Oh my
It's
God.
like that with heavy rains, and you can really say that it's really the end of the world because it's very, very strong with rain and wind, and you can hear the wind howling, and it moves so slow. And because of the coverage of the typhoon is so massive, it's so wide that it hits 9 provinces in the southern part of the Philippines. So the Philippines has 3 major islands: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And this typhoon hits both Visayas and Mindanao, the middle part and the southern part of the Philippines. So you
Wow.
can just imagine how many people were out of, water, electricity, food. Everybody is just like you can just imagine the amount of damage. Everything is down. Harvest that, I mean, rice fields that that's ready to be harvested are all down. um Poultries, like all their chickens died. You can and people now are just receiving help from neighboring provinces that are not badly hit, or the Philippine Army are bringing in through the C-130 plane, bringing in food. So when they fly out, those who wants to leave the place, they're also giving them a plane ride to where nation they want to go. So it's really devastating. I mean,
Wow. We're looking at some of the pictures here on the screen.
it takes a while for you to sink in the it's so hard. It's so difficult.
Yeah, I was just saying, Michelle, that we're looking at some of the photos on the screen now, and it really it looks horrific. My God. Yes. How many people?
Miss Sandra, I lost your I can't hear you now.
What has been the loss of life as a result of this storm?
Hold on, I can't hear you well.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Are you aware of any statistics in terms of how many people are homeless, and has there been any loss of life?
Statistic wise, confirmed dead are almost 390, but they're expecting more. Almost 60 people are still they're searching for 60 people.
Yes.
On the statistics, like 650,000 children are affected. So it's really like heartbreaking because some locations are still underwater. Some locations are still are not possible. No trucks, no cars can go there because there are landslides and the roads are damaged. There are also places that are possible, but still, it's very remote, and it's hard for people that are sending or bringing in donations or food and water to reach the place. You can even it's also very heartbreaking to see that because of this COVID and all the restrictions that are going on, people forgot about that when the help and the food comes, they just flock to the place just to get food and water. Those
Mm,
are just basic things that they really really need.
right. Wow. So, tell us how people here can help. What can people do to assist?
I'm pretty sure some of the Filipinos that are here are also, their families back home are also affected. Until now, I know a lot of local Filipino that are here in Cayman can't even reach their family, can't even check if they're okay back home. But those that really like have, can still donate, can give donations. The only thing that we can really get right now is monetary donations, monetary assistance, um, because the place is too far, and with all this, it's too difficult for us to send goods.
Mm-hmm.
So we are contacting people from different parts of the Philippines that they will receive this money, buy goods, buy water, blankets, and whatever needs that this medicines also, so they can send it directly to the people who are in need. So Bayanihan now, we already posted um, people that are the officers and the cluster heads are receiving donations. We also posted our Butterfield account in US and CI. Just um, write it in your, type it in your reference that it's for the donation of Typhoon Odette or Typhoon Rai, and 100% we will be it will be sent to those people that really badly needed the help.
Mm, mm-mm. So devastating. I see people here in outdoor spaces, trying to light a fire, trying to cook. There's a lady here trying to get her pot going, and she has a bowl of
Yes.
rice. Um,
Yes,
it's
the
just
houses,
children.
Miss Sandra, are all gone. So, imagine just to cook food, they have to get stones, and put, firewoods underneath just to, just to have, just to cook or boil water. It's really heartbreaking. Like everybody now is, there's no more rich, poor right now. Like everybody are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even if you have money, you cannot buy food right now. Even if you have money, you cannot buy any materials to fix your house, and nobody is available also to help you because everybody is, fixing their own homes, whatever is left, whatever is left there. So like we are, people are really asking for water and, basic food. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever we can, help, we're trying our really our best just to collect. We are even like in like, we're thinking that it's Christmas is like 2 days, and
Mm-hmm.
we want these people to just have something for Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's devastating. Folks,
Yeah.
please find it in your heart. I'll post this up on our social media pages. Do you guys have any sort of, you're just doing it through the Butterfield account, or do you have like a GoFundMe page as well, or is it just a local bank account?
They can do it in the bank account, or they
Mhm.
can message the Bayanihan Facebook. And
Okay.
if they can't do the deposit, we have some of our members that can pick up the donations.
Mm-hmm.
We will work, like in whoever is close to the location, we will message, because each locations here in Cayman, we have like cluster leaders or
Mm-hmm.
officers that are, we can message them, and they can just go to the location and pick up the donation.
Okay. All right, folks. So I'll put it up on the CMR page and send it out on social media a little bit later on this morning, how you can donate. Oh my God, look at the shipping containers. Wow. Wow. So even if people, had stuff potentially in these containers, look at how some of them were just thrown around like little matchboxes. Oh my
Yeah,
God. In the
yeah.
street.
Um, we will also find also some
We have also some friends who works in, their employers are also helping, so they
Mhm.
themselves are the ones receiving the donations, and then they forward it to our treasurer, and everything is being logged, because we have to also like identify locations that are really badly hit, and are, that we can also easily reach out to them and send
Mhm.
food to them, or whatever help they need. So
Mhm.
we are now listing which locations, and there are also some Filipino organizations here who have relatives that they can easily reach out. That's why we said it's not only us that are
Mhm.
receiving donations, but there are also some Filipino groups here that they're also grouping themselves and helping. If they have members that are, affected also, they help that member, and that member can they will send it to the family of their member, and then that person who is the receiver can help his neighbor, the
Mhm.
people are within his neighborhood.
Mhm. Okay. All right, Michelle, we will get the word out there in relation to this, and we're really begging and pleading anyone who can help. I mean, this is just devastating, especially this
Yeah.
time of year, days before Christmas, when it should be an occasion of happiness and celebration
Yeah.
and joy. But unfortunately, there are
Yeah.
people in the Philippines who've been hit by a major typhoon, and they're not going to have a very good Christmas at all. Some over almost 400 people have lost their lives, and the
Yeah.
devastation is just unbelievable. So we'll post it up, and we'll
Yeah.
ask all of our followers and supporters and just everyone to please see how you can contribute. The most meaningful way, and we've seen this happen a lot of times after a disaster, is actually to do a cash donation, because unfortunately sending goods right now to the Philippines is logistically, almost impossible. But the
Yeah.
things that people need immediately, probably hygiene products, food, and good clean water and so on, those things can be
Yeah.
purchased once they have the funds to be able to do so. And I'm
Mhm,
sure that
mhm.
there are people on the ground in the Philippines, such as the Cross and other organizations, who will be
Yeah.
able to take those donated funds and then to redistributed it, as Michelle said, within the community. So thank you so much, Michelle, for
Yeah.
coming on the program today and for sharing this message on behalf of your community.
Yes, thank you again, Miss Sandra, and we are really grateful that you're always there. And I mean, since last year, I know we can't forget the Miss Sandra Hill that graced our extravaganza during Christmas. That was really an awesome experience with you, and
Thank
all
you.
throughout, during every time we have even a very, small gathering, Miss Sandra Hill is there. Thank you there, and I have your cup. I use it every day.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
So
you, Miss
we're going
Sandra. I
to
mean, more power to you, and God bless. And you have a Merry Christmas.
thank you. Yes, and same to you. I know these are difficult times, but our premier says that community builds country, and I think this is true all over the world. And sometimes other communities have to help across the pond, across the ocean, across the world. And I know that the people of
Yeah.
the Cayman Islands have very, very big hearts.
Mhm.
And we are so fortunate. I was saying earlier this morning that we have a lot to be thankful for. So I know that we can share.
Yes.
We can share some of what we have
Yes. Yes.
with the people of the Philippines. So Michelle, thank you. And
Yes.
thank you to the entire group, Dion, Sunny, and everybody else who's in the group. They work all the time behind the scenes, putting on community events. The Cayman Bayanan Filipino Community Group does a wonderful job with, keeping their community unified. And so just really, really love it. And we
Yeah.
support you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Sandra. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, my dear. All right, folks.
You have a wonderful Christmas.
You too. Thanks, Michelle. Bye bye.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, folks. So let's help our brothers and sisters who are hurting right now in the Philippines. It's just, you know, it's just astonishing what has happened. So I will personally put up the story this morning. I think Renee is probably busy with her baby as she gets ready to celebrate her first Christmas with her son. He's 3 months old already. I saw a picture of him the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's a little chunky monkey already. So I will do that before I hit the road. I've got to go do a little bit more Christmas shopping. I will send a donation so you guys can count on me from the Filipino community to also send a donation. And I'll put up all the bank account information for Butterfield. Folks, no matter how big or small, if it's $25, $50, whatever it is, please find it in your heart to send some funds to these people who are very much in need. This is a very tragic, devastating situation. And I'm going to reach out to the premier and other people in government and personally ask them myself if they would consider making a donation as well, because, oh my God, it's just horrific what has happened. Dion and everybody else in the Filipino community, we're thinking of you. We're praying for you. I know Miss Irma over at Miracle Brokers. She, as well as people like David from Prodigy, they're big supporters of the community. And I'm sure that she and Eric would be willing to assist as well. Folks, that's it. It's Christmas Eve. So on tomorrow's show, we're going to be giving away some prizes. So I think you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. Tune in early. We've got some goodies for you guys, some giveaways for the Christmas season. And I think I should wrap the presents. You're not going to know what it is until you get it, right? So I hate Christmas wrapping. It's one of the things about Christmas that I do not like. I'm not really good at it. I wouldn't say I'm horrible, but I'm on the kind of horrible side when it comes to Christmas wrapping. But anyway, I wrap. And whatever I can stick in a bag, and I don't have to wrap, a lot of times I'll do that too. But yes, I'm going to wrap the presents for tomorrow's show. And I'll stick a bow on it, maybe. But anyway, so tune in tomorrow, and we'll give away a few prizes. We'll have a fun, light show tomorrow. Nothing serious. Hopefully nothing serious to report happens between now and then. And that's it. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got for you. All right, folks. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Sister Sun says you help her. Are you good at rapping? Some people enjoy it. Some people really love Christmas rapping. I'm like, okay. Folks, check out Small Deals if you're still looking for a last minute gift. They've got some wonderful gift ideas that you can definitely delve into at a really fantastic price.
'Tis the season to get all your stocking stuffers at Small Deals Outlet in the Thompson Building in Central Georgetown. We have some awesome specials on for Christmas, including fashion handbags, kids' bubble handbags, headphones, dancing cactus, and face shields. There are too many fantastic novelty and unique gift ideas to mention. Stop by today and visit us or browse our online catalog at smalldealsoutlet.com. Call today for any questions at 746-5072.
All right, folks. So make it a big deal by going to Small Deals. Check out their social media pages and Facebook. Again, big shout out to everyone who's been sending us Christmas messages.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season, folks. Enjoy the rest of your lovely day. We will be here tomorrow morning to continue, bringing you right into, Christmas Eve is tomorrow. So the next day, that's it. Christmas is on Saturday. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the morning.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.